I want to just touch on something, past struggles with the weight loss journey. I've done this a few times now. I usually do really good. I know where my plateaus are, right around 310. I'll stay here for a couple weeks. It's not fun, but it's just one of those things where it seems to just stay there and my weight just seems to hover. My next one I know will be right around the 290-ish mark, and then 275. If I get to 275, I'm going to be stuck there for 2 to 3 weeks, and nothing's going to make that weight fluctuate. It's going to take a while. So the last time I worked real hard at losing weight, I was doing great. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Fort Mac wildfire. So that happened in 2016, I believe. And I had picked up extra shifts, so I wasn't supposed to be there. I don't live where I work, I commute. I had went up, and I grew up around forest fires all the time. I lived by Slave Lake. That was a town that something similar happened a few years back, or a few years previously to the Fort Mac wildfire. And so as a kid, forest fires are things that happen. My dad worked on dozers making fire breaks and stuff like that, and he was gone for weeks at a time. No radios back then, no phones, so he was in the midst of it and no contact, so I mean that was rough on the family. But so when I went up to Fort Mac for the week of the wildfire, when I drove up, we had the fire burning, and it was close to the highway at that point, so they were talking about blocking off the highway. Now, Fort Mac has basically one road in, one road up. There's a second one, but at a certain point, there's a choke point, and you can't get past that road. And when I went up there, I made sure I had food, I made sure I had water, I had a full tank of fuel in the car, I had all the necessities I needed for everything. And when I got to that fire line, I had an internal struggle to cross that fire line, because I knew the second I crossed that, if that fire shifted, there was no way back for me. I couldn't get across it. So I literally parked on the side of the highway with the fire quarter-mile off the highway, looking at it going, is this what you want to do? You know, as soon as you cross that line, you might not be able to get back. So I went against my fight or flight instinct. It was saying to go back home, call in. I had a guy lined up. If I really wanted to, he would have covered the shifts. I was like, you know what? No, I picked up these shifts. I'm going to go in and work it. So I said, no, that's fine, thank you, but I'll come, I'll do this. So I went up. First day was fine. Second day, the wind had shifted and came into town. Chaos ensued. I won't get into details that may jeopardize my employment with me talking negatively about events that went on. Totally open to talking about that if you want to talk about it offline, but nothing incriminating, okay? We'll just keep it PG. So anyways, basically at the end of it, normally I do alright. I roof over my head, food in the fridge. I usually don't have a lot of worries when it comes to that. I lead a pretty Spartan life anyway. But that point, we were in a camp. Luckily I had some friends that I had known because it wasn't my own crew, obviously. I was working extra. But I had friends that we were, you had people around you anyway. And it came to a point where I'm a survival, not expert, but I can survive. I'm a survivor, right? So, and bush life, it's life. I can adapt to my surroundings. But at the camp we were at, first day was fine, and then second day was rations, not obvious rations, but you could see they were rationing the food and stuff, which is fine. You know, you don't know how long you're going to have this many people for, but you also know there's a limited supply of food and you can't get more because the highway was blocked. We couldn't get supplies in, so you knew there was a limited amount of food. So okay, we're running low on food, you know, depending where they were in their cycle. Water, we were only so much potable water. So they had big signs, you know, take short showers, don't wash your clothes, you know, conserve water, which is fine. They came around and were handing out circulars saying they were going to cut off the communications array to conserve diesel fuel. So you're running out of food, fuel, and water, which are the three basic necessities of life in the bush. So then I started to panic. And luckily I had a good friend who actually started walking. His wife took his truck to a different camp and started walking. It was 75 kilometers or so, and started walking that distance to get his truck. He got lucky, he got a ride. Jason, I'm at this other camp. We were lied to. They've got rooms, which we were told they didn't have any rooms, so just stay where you're at. And he said they've got flights going out of here. So we were told there's no flights, no nothing, just stay where you are. And so he said, I'm dropping these people off now, and I've got room for one more. Do you want to ride? And previous to this, when everything broke down and basically chaos ensued, I had went, okay, I need to get out of here. So my dad's known a lot of pilots over the years, lots of bush work. So he was actually calling up all the old people old friends that he knew some that he hadn't worked with in 20 years, seeing if they still had their plane to fly in and grab me and a few friends. But luckily, my friend had called me and said, hey, I've got a ride, do you want out? And then that's literally his words. I have a ride, I have room for you, do you want out? And I went, yeah. Like, for me, I know there's people maybe watching this or have been. I've known people where you don't know where your next meal's coming from. And that's scary. You don't know where you're sleeping that night. And that's a whole level of just stuff that I can comprehend because I've known people that have been in similar situations. I personally, other than a few times throughout my life, know pretty well where I'm going to be, whether it's sleeping in the car or whatever the case may be, sometimes on the side of the road. It happens, I drive a lot. But that was the first moment that I felt completely humbled in my life, and just made you feel that big, like your problems are completely nothing to some people's, right? Like, there was other people's who didn't know if they lost their home. I'm a commuter. I rent a room. All I had was my stuff that I owned in my room. So everything burns down. It's not a big deal. My car was there. So I got separated from my car, obviously. Had fuel, food, all that stuff. But it was at home and I was at work. So I didn't have that. So even though I was prepared for it, life threw a curveball and just way out in left field, and I couldn't do anything about it. I was completely helpless at that moment in my life. And when I got to the airport, I met some people. They had a dog. I'm a big dog person, so I gravitated towards them. They're on my friends list on Facebook. I haven't talked to them in a while. Life's gotten a hold of everything. But they had a dog, and I just fell in love instantly with this dog. This dog was there when I needed it most. I didn't have a dog of my own at the time. I hadn't gotten Nova. But, yeah. So I had this dog to help console me, basically. Not console, that's the wrong word. Helped comfort me. And it I totally get the service dogs. If you have one, great. I think they're a wonderful tool, and people should be more respectful of, oh, well, why do you need a dog? There's nothing wrong with you. You're not blind. That's not the point of a service dog. They can be for very many things. And so anyways, I way off and rode that tangent for a while. Back to the weight loss part of things. I was doing so good at my weight loss before the fire, and then the fire happened, and basically threw my whole life upside down for 3 weeks before I could get to some state of normal. And for those few weeks, my weight wasn't a concern at all. I was just happy to be alive. My friends were okay. Everyone I knew made it out of Fort Mac safely. Some people were unfortunate and lost their homes, their possessions, but the big thing was they made it out alive. Their friends, their family made it out. There was a couple of fatalities, but it wasn't fire related. It was on the exit from town. We basically took a whole city and just moved it down the road, and for nobody to get hurt through that in town was amazing. Once in a lifetime experience for sure. I frickin' hope so, because 2 towns that I used to live in have burnt in some fashion, and I'm not going to do a third one. So I still get anxiety from it. Let's talk about that for a little bit. We'll get back to the weight loss thing anyway. I still get anxiety from it. I've got a wood heater over in the corner. I haven't lit it in 2 years because just the sound, the smell of the fire just brings back those memories, right? And yeah, I know PTSD, avoidance, stuff like that. Yeah, it's one of the signs. I'll be okay. I know that's what they all say, but it's just one of those things where I'll do it if I have to, but I'm not going to go out of my way to bring back those memories right now. I'll deal with it later. Some people are worse off than I am, where just the smell of smoke will put them in a panic attack. And I'm lucky. My panic attacks that I have had in the past are not the hyperventilating, just heart starts racing, you feel it, you know it's coming, and it drives you nuts because there's nothing you can do about it. And yeah, sometimes fucking life sucks. But back to the weight loss. So when all that shit went down, I was doing great. Freaking, I was down 40 pounds or so, and I was killing it. I was at the gym every day off, 3 hours minimum. I was doing an hour on the treadmill, an hour on the elliptical, an hour on the bike, and weights in between. I was fucking in great shape. And then the fire happened, and I just went, what the fuck is... I guess I shouldn't say that. I just went, what's the point? Like, I lost interest in it. I don't go out and, eat freaking, a freaking big plate of food 10 times a day or anything like that. It's not like I'm sitting at the fridge constantly. It's just, I eat unhealthier stuff, right? Like, I won't turn down, or wouldn't turn down a cheeseburger. Obviously, haven't had one in a while now. I tried to get back on it a couple times, eating healthy, couldn't do it. So I try. That's all I can say is, even when I had no interest in it, I still tried. I had cut back on pop a lot. So, what do I want to say with this? No matter what happens, just try. Even if you fail 10,000 times, just keep trying. I mean, you're making an attempt. You might not get it the first time, the second time. The big thing is you're trying to make your life better in one way, shape, or form, whatever that may be. So, just keep trying, guys. I mean, I know the saying is do or do not, there is no try. Well, fuck you, Yoda, you don't know shit. Try. If you fail, big deal. That's life. I mean, no matter how hard you think you've got this by the balls, you don't. Something could go wrong today, tomorrow, next week, and just throw you for a loop. And if you don't adapt, it's going to leave you there. So I try my best to adapt to whatever comes my way. I mean, I've got a great core group of friends. I've got a wonderful family that supports me, even though I'm a dumbass sometimes, a lot of times. Okay, I admit it. Yeah, like, even if, no, we already did that. So, just bear with me. This is going to be painful. I'm going to try my best to keep things lighthearted. Like I said, I like the memes, so we're going to have fun with this. We're not going to be hardcore drill instructor, let's fucking do this. No. We're going to have fun. We're going to... Well, I can't say the line I want to. If you were Canadian and watch Participation, the little clip it's in between shows, because it's trademarked, and hopefully I make money with this eventually, but I'm not going to say their line, but you know what it is. We're going to go to the gym in a little bit here. I'm going to probably put an hour in, nothing too crazy today. I'm going to grab some groceries for tomorrow, figure out what we're going to have, and have a great day. That's all I got for you guys today. So, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget about our $10,000 giveaway. Hit 1,000,000 subs, and we'll give away $10,000. I know we're only at 9, and that seems like forever away, and that I'm crazy and have way too big of expectations, but you got a dream, right? So, we'll see you guys tomorrow with a cooking video